Refugee. It's not a word with which we are unfamiliar. We hear it all the time in the news, in political debates, and in our day-to-day lives. But what is a refugee, and what issues in terms of stigma and health do they face? Today, we'll be exploring these issues and considering vaccination amongst this population. According to the 1951 Convention relating to the status of refugees, which Australia has signed, a refugee is any person who, due to a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons such as race, religion, social or political opinion, or nationality, is unable to seek protection from their home country, and as a result, seek refuge elsewhere. Though this is not mentioned in the Convention's definition, they can also be escaping a natural disaster. Essentially, a refugee seeks refuge and a better life. On the other hand, vaccinations are a method of safe and efficient disease prevention, reducing hospitalisation, chronic illnesses, and sometimes death. It is deemed critical for the health of the wider community. In Australia, following the National Immunisation Schedule, most critical vaccinations are administered to children. Stigma and discrimination is unfortunately very present in Australia, and the negative attitude seen towards refugees demonstrates the nation's ongoing xenophobia. Stigma often seen in Australia labels refugees as less intelligent, crime-prone and violent. This stigma translates into discrimination through racism, which can traumatise, humiliate and prevent an individual's growth and functioning. This can inhibit physical, social and mental health. All of this can also lead to self-stigmatisation, altering people's perceptions of themselves. In the case of immunisation, this has the power to hinder efforts of disease prevention, potentially leaving people to feel as though they shouldn't bother with these treatments, increasing the spread of illness, increasing late diagnosis, and potentially death. According to the Northern Territory Department of Health, newly arriving refugees, though they do receive some level of healthcare in their home countries, often arrive without vaccination records, putting their own health and the health of the community at risk. Inadequate vaccinations has been found by GPs to be the most common health problem in newly arriving refugees, especially in children. In 2005, amongst newly arriving refugee patients in Melbourne, approximately 90% of children aged under 15 years required vaccinations that may be viewed as commonplace by most Australians. Approximately 50% of individuals aged 15 years or older also required vaccinations. The Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne acknowledges this, also taking into account that vaccination schedules differ globally and have in place a specific immunisation catch-up schedule for refugees. They are also then entered into the Australian Child Immunisation Registry. New government criteria that came into place at the start of this year now supplies necessary vaccines to vulnerable groups, such as refugees, who meet the criteria. Addressing stigma so that refugees can access this area of health is crucial. Putting people in a box and labelling them with an identity stifles personal growth, and it's vital that we as a society are able to look past these individual labels to allow people and society to come together and flourish. And let's not forget that everyone's favourite Dr. Karl was too a refugee. Stigma can be addressed through media and government bodies, and the use of terms such as queue jumpers, illegal immigrants and boat people doesn't do anything to initiate a positive change. Encouraging people to make their own informed opinions on the matter can remove stigma. Education of future generations on equity and equality and living conditions globally could also shine a positive light on refugees. Methods are already in place through the Refugee Health Service to promote vaccinations amongst the group, such as employing effective and relatable communication methods and encouraging refugees to take part in already existing immunisation services. However, removing stigma has the potential to bring even more benefits to these programs. Opening people's eyes to unbiased resources can broaden the mind, create social cohesion and improve health, benefiting everyone.